the record, welcome as well. So my name is Ali. So I'm representing Go Away Travel here. We've been in the business almost 60 years now, and our specialty is custom travel. So whether it's in Japan, whether it's in Africa, whether it's Australia, and today we're going to be talking about Costa Rica, of course, we do it all. So we actually provide local services in 100 plus countries. And personalization is really the key when it comes to most of our trips, including this one. So we work alongside, or Ty has worked very hard alongside one of our group specialists, Aisha, who unfortunately couldn't be here for this one. But she has worked very closely with our local providers in Costa Rica, along with Ty, to curate this itinerary that I'm very, very excited to share with you guys today. Been to Costa Rica a couple of times as well. I love it. It's one of those destinations that you can get a lot of different travel styles, regardless of what your interest is and regardless of your definition of a vacation. So yes, it's become one of those premier ecotourism destinations that's been on our radar, or let's say it's been selling a lot when it comes to group travel. So I'm super excited to walk you through the itinerary. Any questions that you guys might have, you can already start to put them in the chat. At the end of it, we do have some time allocated that I and myself will go through it. The goal of this is just to give you some of the highlights when it comes to the itineraries, and then hopefully you leave this conversation with enough information to make a decision and book this amazing, amazing trip Di has worked on. So like I was saying, where after looking through the itinerary, very easily why Costa Rica is one of those premier ecotourism destinations. And more in these last few years, the government has spent a lot of money on tourism in order to set up the infrastructure properly, and also to make the experience as easy as possible for international and domestic travelers. And yes, when it comes to this itinerary, as you can see, it's a 7 day adventure. And in just 1 week, you'll get to experience volcanoes, waterfalls, rainforest, a bit of wildlife, and authentic Costa Rican culture. And then we're going to finish some time on the Pacific coast. And I think one thing I really enjoyed when I was looking at this itinerary is that every couple of days, the scenery completely changes. So it never feels repetitive, and you get to see different sides of the country as well. Before we jump into the day by day, I want to start with just kind of preparing you guys, at least mentally, when it comes to Costa Rica, starting with the weather. So around this time in February, when this trip is being planned for, it's almost perfect, I would say, adventure weather. So temperatures are between 77 and 90 Fahrenheit and 25 and 32 degrees Celsius. So you do expect a bit of warm sunny days. My recommendation would be always packing light layer because as I mentioned, we're going to be seeing different parts. And what that means is we're going to be going up in altitude as well. And that's where Monteverde's cooler temperatures kick in. And that's where it's really essential and not to think about Costa Rica as just a hot destination. It will be a bit warmer, but just to pack for all sorts of days. This is my recommended walking packing list. But again, closer to your trip, I'm sure you'll get advice from a lot of people. But always feel free to reach out to Ty and us. We'll be happy to give you a more detailed list depending or given the experience of previous travelers as well. Travel documents, just as a reminder, this hopefully everyone knows this, but your passport does need to be valid 6 months from the return date, and it does need to have two blank pages as well. There is no visa, however, required for US passport holders, and travel insurance is highly, highly, highly recommended. Please reach out to Ty for more details. And my personal advice when it comes to packing would be making a photocopy of your passport and your official IDs. Sometimes it's very unfortunately it happens from time to time. People lose their passports. You don't want to be in that situation. So that would be my tip when it comes to what to pack, how to prepare for this trip. Costa Rica, before we jump into the actual trip itself, just a bit about the country. So it's a relatively small country, and it actually protects roughly a quarter of its land when it comes to national parks and reserves. What that means is there's a lot of wildlife, nature, and that's something you don't have to particularly go searching for. Some of the tours you'll set up, it'll make it very easy for you to actually experience the everyday life that exists. One of the phrases you also hear in Costa Rica is pura vida. You'll hear it everywhere. You can say hellos with it. You can say goodbyes with it. It just means pure life, but honestly, it's much more than that. It might sound a bit cheesy. It's like a way of life. The more people you talk to, especially having gone there a couple of times, it truly reflects Costa Rica's relaxed and friendly culture. And that's hopefully some of the culture that you'll also experience during this 7-day adventure. Now, before we begin into the day today, I just want to give a very brief overview on some of the highlights. So we're going to begin in Arnel, one of Costa Rica's most famous regions when it comes to the volcanoes, waterfalls, and hot springs. From there, we'll go into Monteverde. It's home to one of the most famous cloud forests, and I'll give you a little sneak peek through a video as well. And then we're going to finish off in Tamarindo. That's one of my favorite places as well on the Pacific coast. That's where everyone will get some time to relax, enjoy the beach before you finally head back home. What will be included in this trip? One of the biggest advantages of using individuals like Tai, who then use companies like us, is special deals. Because when it comes to group travel, that's really where everyone gets to save a lot of money and you get really good value for what you're spending. So on a guided group trip like this, nearly everything has been arranged. And this is the beauty of it. Logistically speaking, you don't have to worry about anything. Almost everything has already been prepared for you. So this includes your accommodations, private transportation throughout the country, guided sightseeing, transfers, and a lot of the meals, as you can see highlighted on the screen here, is already included as well. So what that means is essentially once you land, all you really have to do is enjoy yourself. What's not included is some of the things here. And again, more details. If you have any more questions, save those questions towards the end, and Ty and I will be happy to help. Again, just a brief overview of the 3 accommodations you will hopefully be experiencing. So again, three different styles that we've picked, and starting with the lodge. So this is where we'll spend our first few nights. One of the reasons this hotel is so popular is because of its incredible location overlooking the volcano. The property is surrounded by rainforest, walking trails, beautiful gardens, and honestly, it's so relaxing. The hotel feels part of the experience rather than something that's forced. And this is just a few of the pictures. And then I actually also had a video, or sorry, just to show you a few more from the property itself. So these are official real pictures. So again, it's Observatory Lodge. As you can tell, it's right in the heart of it. And like I said, it really feels part of the experience. All right, so moving on. After arriving in Costa Rica and settling into the hotel, we'll head to one of the country's most iconic natural attractions, which is the La Fortuna waterfall. This waterfall plunges into an amazing, I'll show you in a second, turquoise pool. It's surrounded by the rainforest. And if you're feeling adventurous, you can, of course, swim in the falls as well. And then let me just give you a little quick sneak peek into it. So yes, just to give you a little sneak peek. Later that evening, actually, there's going to be a bit more water activity because you're going to get to unwind at the hot spring before we head off for a welcome dinner. And this is a little sneak peek into the hot springs as well. And honestly, I can't think of a better way to recover from a travel day, especially again, even though it's not too far away, than soaking in these naturally heated waters. And I think that's going to be a really good start or day one when it comes to the hot springs. They end at 10 p.m., so you'll get to have a lot of time there as well. But again, it's very intention how we schedule the days when it comes to day one, your last day, or whatever day that looks like, because it's based on customer and group feedback, and it's very intentional when it comes to slowly getting you in the adventure. But like you already saw, since day one, you'll already be immersed in the environment, so it'll already feel like you're getting part of the adventure. So today we're going to slow down the pace a bit, but I personally think it's a great thing. You're going to start with a safari float. This is going to be along the Blancas River, and this isn't water rafting. It's a very peaceful wildlife excursion where actually an expert naturalist will guide you through the boat while pointing out, as you just saw a few seconds ago, whether it's sloths, whether it's the birds, just along the riverbank. So yes, keep an eye out for those monkeys, for those iguanas, turtles, kingfishers. There's so much to see, and who knows, maybe a crocodile as well. Because yeah, the excursion is again not too much. It's only a half a day, so you'll get a lot of free time back at the lodge or to relax on your own. And that's something, again, remembering from the hotel property itself. It's very intentional when it comes to the properties, because we do want you to take you out in the city or nearby areas, but then at least at the end of it, you still get to experience, or the experience kind of continues. So yes, evening will be at leisure. There will be a lunch. That's what I forgot to mention at the end of the river float as well. Coming to the hotel. So again, this is in the heart of it. It's a very beloved boutique hotel. And again, based on our reviews and customer feedback, it's one of those really popular hotels when it comes to our small groups. It has a family atmosphere. It has amazing natural surroundings. And the room type that's been chosen for you guys is the junior suite, which actually offers, as you can see, some of the forest views. And it's pretty comfortable, especially after a long day. And it actually connects. That's another cool thing about this property. It connects directly to some of the forest trails. So you can actually see where that leads to and kind of do, like I said, your own adventure towards the end of it. All right, so day three. Today, we're going to combine a bit of adventure with local culture. So we'll begin with an ATV excursion. It's going to be through the countryside before you may make your way to the lake. And then we're finally going to cross into, these were some of the hotel pictures. I'm going to skip that for now. That's just a little sneak peek into the ATV ride. That's how you'll begin. This is one of my favorite activities. So I didn't do the exact one to the countryside. I was on the Tamarindo side, or that's where I began my trip. But honestly, for my partner and I, is one of our highlights. So much so that we actually rented ATVs from the hotel for the next couple of days. But yes, usually it's one of, especially for beginners, it's super easy. So there's nothing to it. But yeah, honestly, for me, it was the highlight. I wish I could buy ATV here, but I live in Toronto, so that's probably not possible. So, like I mentioned, after that, we're gonna cross into Monteverde, and that's again just a little sneak peek into how that would look like. So the ride across to small town is approximately, I would say, 45 minutes. So you get to enjoy, as you can see here, some scenic views. And again, it's a very safe, well-organized way to travel between two of, I would say, Costa Rica's most iconic destinations. And later in the day, we're going to participate in cooking class. I don't have a video or pictures for that, but that's where you're going to learn more about local ingredients. There's going to be some traditional recipes, while again, you're going to be preparing part of your actually own meal. So yes, experience like these will always be memorable because they actually give you really good sense of the destination beyond simply the usual sightseeing, which you already get. But this again would be an amazing experience to it. There will be a couple of options when it comes to the menus as well. And it's going to be approximately 2.5 hours. This is one of my favorite days because everyone gets to personalize their own experience. And that honestly doesn't happen enough when it comes to our small groups. But I'll show you a couple of them in a second. But the day is going to start as usual. Breakfast is including. But this is where you get to choose between the Extremo Park for the canopy tour. This is where you can do some zip lining if you wish, or you can opt for just the canopy tour itself. There's a butterfly garden and slot sanctuary as well. Or you can go for the Monteverde Sky Tram and Trek tours. So to just give you an idea of what the zip line might potentially look like. Because if you're looking for excitement, honestly, this is obviously something you have to do because you have to choose this because it's like you can see it's right through the cloud forest. Otherwise, I'll share the other options in a second. Otherwise, yeah, those who just want to enjoy a bit more laid back, you can choose options like the butterfly garden and the reptile and amphibian visits or the animal sanctuary as well. So again, as you can see from here, this is where doesn't matter if it's just nature lovers or if you just want to walk and hang around the bridges, you can get to experience the forest from like a few different views. But yeah, no matter which option you choose, you'll spend the day surrounded by one of the most unique ecosystems in the world. So, like I mentioned, quarter of their country is protected, and it's one of the most ecologically diverse areas in the whole world. And you'll get to see a glimpse of it through any of these, honestly, optional tours, regardless of what you choose, because again, you're just right in the heart of it. Later that evening, everyone comes back together for a guided night walk. And this is where I wish when I was looking at videos for this, definitely I'm going to do this next time because this is where you'll get to see the rainforest truly come alive. And I wish I'd done this before. And I'll give you a little sneak peek of that as well. So this is a guided night walk. It's going to start around maybe 5:45, 6 o'clock. And truly at night is, well, the new world or their world awakens. So this is where a lot of the wild species honestly are most active during this time. So from the nocturnal frogs to the bats, you're going to see a lot of cool things, hopefully. And again, thanks to a professional guide, you're tour will actually be an educational experience because of the extensive knowledge they actually have about the nature of the history of Monteverde. You'll actually be surrounded by nature. And then, of course, your guide will help you find and visualize not just the animals, but the fauna and the flora that this reserve offers. On this part, I did a version of this. I didn't do a night walk when I did. It was like more of a day thing. But however, I do recommend to wear comfortable shoes, clothes, and again, something very easy for walking, and then insect repellent. So that would be my biggest advice as well. Um, and yes, just to speak a bit more of the optional tours, at the end of it, or when you're confirming your trip, this is where you can let Di know what you're interested in. Depending on time, you might be able to do or slap on a couple of those activities. But just to kind of repeat, it's the Extremo Park for Canopy Extreme Tour. You have a few different options when it comes to the zip line. However, the zip lining tour, it's approximately 2.5, 3 hours. If you're going for the Butterfly Gardens and Sloth Sanctuary, that again wouldn't take too much time, but it really depends on the individual. Same thing with the Butterfly Gardens. There's 1.9 miles of trails, so there's honestly so much you can do or spend a lot of time if you wish. When it comes to the Sky Tram and trekking tour, that one will be provided with transportation. This tour will actually include 8 different cables of varying lengths. So again, time permitting, it really depends what you want to squeeze, how fast you want to squeeze. My recommendation would be just signing up for just one, so you actually immerse it and don't try to rush yourself. But yes, on this day, this is where we give you guys that option. And then again, as a whole group, that's what we end with, the night walk. And then, you will just be at the hotel for some free time and rest. So again, you get to enjoy the beautiful property as well. And just to kind of show you the property itself. So let's keep going. This is the next property. I'll show you this in a second, but it's perfectly positioned on the Tamarindo beach, and it's a beautiful beach resort. The rooms that's been chosen for you guys is a Tropicana pool view. And it's again one of those properties that's super popular because of its amazing customer experience and the services that they have. And it kind of offers like a blend of elegance and beachfront. And there's multiple pools, there's direct beach access, there's on-site dining, and Tamarindo, which is a small little town. Honestly, there's so much energy. For those of you who've been to Playa del Carmen in Mexico, it's a bit like that, but it feels more exotic. And it's a perfect setting to unwind after your adventures. And again, everything is very thoughtfully curated for you guys, just so the experience feels very smooth and nothing feels forced. And again, leaving it very intentionally, a lot of free and leisure time, so you get to enjoy the beautiful properties that Di and Aisha have picked for you. All right, so day 5, before actually arriving in Tamarindo. So, as usual, you do the breakfast. The morning, we'll actually stop for Costa Rica's most enjoyable experiences. Happy to share that I also did one of these, and this was on my day 1, actually, instead of day 5. I'm a coffee addict. I have like 3 to 4 cups of coffee, if not more. And I do always try and grab coffee wherever I am. And Costa Rica actually has one of the best coffees in the world. So this one is going to be those unique cultural experiences that you get to experience the coffee, you get to experience chocolate, and it's actually a sugarcane tour as well. So you'll get to learn how these products are actually grown, produced, and of course there will be opportunity to sample everything. And again, like I mentioned, Costa Rican coffee is actually considered the finest in the world, and it's actually because of the country's volcanic soil. So because of the soil nearby or at the grounds next to the volcanoes, that's where the ideal growing conditions truly exist. So it has a different or unique taste to it as well. So yes, this one again, like I mentioned, you'll be taken for a coffee, chocolate sugar cane tour. It's about 2 hours, and you'll get to learn all about the history. And as you can see, you'll also visit actually a sugar mill, and this is where you learn about sugar cane and how to actually extract cane juice by hand. And the Monteverde climate is pretty variable, but when it comes to all these trails, you can actually access them any time of the year, and that's something nearby you'll see quite a bit. So this tour especially is super suitable for families, strollers, and again, part as you can see, my mouth is watering like just looking at those things. What to bring: comfortable clothing, shoes, a jacket, raincoat, sunscreen, and insect repellent. And then you check in, and then you have those amazing rooms to enjoy. And then the afternoon and evening actually will be at leisure. And this is where you get to enjoy the beach town restaurants and nightlife. I didn't want to spoil too much for you guys, so I didn't show too much of the town itself. But again, like I mentioned, Tamarindo, you'll get a North American or an American feel to it. There's so many Canadians and Americans that are remotely working there. And again, it's a beautiful location just to relax or get a bit of the adventure. So this is where you'll really get to enjoy the nightlife. There's a lot of clubs as well, amazing, amazing restaurants, and you really get those beach town vibes. Our final day will be yours to enjoy as you like. So either you get to relax on the beach, go for a swim, browse the local shops, enjoy the seafood. You guys got to try the octopus, or simply sit back and watch the Pacific Ocean. Because again, with this sort of trip, you can make it very intense quickly, depending on some of the tours that you choose. But I think it's very nice always to have some free time at the end of it, because I think that's exactly what you need after like a week of adventure. But some optional extras that are available that I would recommend, I've actually done both of these. It's horseback riding on the beach. So just to kind of give you a little glimpse, again, they got beautiful beaches. Doesn't matter what your level is, whether you're a beginner or not, a guide will be accompanying you. So that's something you can enjoy as well. Or you can also do one of the sunset tours. This again, just a very quick sneak peek. So yes, on the catamaran, you can do one of these. Depending on time and how you plan, day six, like I said, it's yours to enjoy. You could start off with something like this, and then I would recommend, of course, having this as a sunset tour, but horseback riding is an amazing experience as well during the sunset or during the sunrise as well, if you are willing to get up that early. But yes, on this, there will be a farewell dinner included at the hotel as well. And this is where you'll really get to maybe go back to the town for some souvenirs. And if there's something you really enjoyed, the free days are given. So then you kind of pick and choose what you liked. And if there is something else on your bucket list, that's where you ask Ty and see if there are any other optional tours that you were always curious about or something you wanted to enjoy as an activity. But these are the ones that we recommend. But on day seven, this is where again, breakfast will be included. So we'll transfer you to the airport and then you transfer, unfortunately, back home. But hopefully, through this incredible week of adventure, you'll get to see some of Costa Rica's most iconic destinations. And even though it's only 7 days, as you can see, hopefully, through those little snapshots, you'll actually experience three completely different regions of Costa Rica. So, from the volcano to the waterfalls, to the forest, to the wildlife, to the local culture, and the beaches. So it might feel rushed, but I promise you it won't be as fast as this presentation. But yes, what I leave you with is the food. That's something for me that gets not talked about as much because Costa Rica, you can get a bit of everything. I would recommend the gallo pinto and the casado. It's Costa Rica's national dish. So it's rice and beans cooked together with their local herbs and spices. And again, hopefully you'll enjoy that buffet dinner on day one and that special farewell dinner that we'll set up for you on your final evening. That will be included as well. But what I would recommend and why I put on this slide is don't be afraid on those couple of free days in leisure time to go explore the local shops, the food trucks, because that's usually where you experience the truly authentic nature of their food. And again, just to kind of recap, these are some of the things that you'll see. But what I leave you with is one thought that what I really like is because you really get to see everything, but you'll have time to slow down. But at the same time, if you're looking for a destination that you want a bit of adventure in, the scenery, wildlife, I think Costa Rica is honestly hard to beat. Doesn't matter what you compare it to in the world. But no, that's it for me. What I'll hand off to Ty in a second. I just wanted to leave it at the flyer, but thank you so much for joining us tonight, especially those of you who joined us live. For those of you watching at home, hopefully this was useful. Please feel free to email Ty your questions, and I hope to see you guys there.